had a performing career. I worked with Disney, commercials, TV shows. Then from there, where I am right now is more choreography. So I do a lot of competitive dance teams, different concert companies, things like that. About 12 years ago, I started a company with some friends. It's called Tap Into the Network, and we're a touring tap dance convention. And so the way this college guide came about, we would have like a question and answer session with everybody, and the number one question that everybody would always have is, what do I do when I graduate from high school? Do I go to college? Do I pursue a professional career in dance? What do I do? So the more this question came about, I started doing more research because I like to have, educated answers when people have questions. Hey, James. So I started doing research to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. And I realized that there weren't very many resources on the subject of dancing in college, which I'm sure some of you have come to find out as well. You really have to dig deep to find a lot of this information. So what happened was I spent about a year researching, which is a long time, yes, but and I also contacted a lot of really good friends who I knew that were graduates from very prestigious college dance programs as well. And we created this guide, and it turned out to be this really cool thing. And so this is the updated version here. Hello. Hey, girl. It's our second edition. It's about 90 pages long, but we just enlisted as much information as we could to kind of help you feel comfortable throughout your college process, the search process, different questions and various things like that. So this talk today will be based around that subject. And if you have questions, please write them down. I will hold a moment for questions later so that I can't really multitask too well. So just hang tight. Okay, first, let's see. What do I want to say? Okay, so these are just general notes, okay? A lot of times students will say, how many colleges should I apply to? I always say, and I mean, of course this varies per person, but you can kind of range this however you want. I say 3 that are like, whoa, out of range, you know what I mean? Like your dream schools that are just, whoa, right? The big ones. Then you want to do 3 that are a good fit, right? So the good fit meaning it's a good fit academically, it's a good fit size-wise, it's a good fit location-wise, weather, all that kind of stuff. And then the third, I would say, is just local, right? So local schools that are comfortable, maybe like a community college or something like that. So you give yourself a range of different options when you are applying. And you also want to make sure that you're applying to as many as you can, because you never know who's going to accept you and who's not, right? The next thing is to note your evaluation factors. This means getting very clear on what is important to you. So as you get older and you get, freshman high school, especially junior and senior year, you should know these things. But you already know what you like, so you know if you like contemporary over jazz, or you know if you like to study the foundation of dance, or if you just want to study body parts and kinesiology and stuff like that. So you want to start to, even at freshman year, I would say start to get in touch with different things about dance that you like and that you love. Or even if it's not dance, maybe you love math or maybe you love science, but just start to really get in tune with the things that you love and the things that you like, and you kind of let that guide you through your application process and your essays and things like that, which will help direct you into the what do I do? Because the whole college thing is very much like, what do I do? It seems like this big scary thing with all these decisions to make, and it is. So the earlier you start, the better you'll be, okay? Better off you'll be. My third general point is to get organized. This is the time of your life. I was not organized. I was not an organized individual in my high school years. I was like, whatever is going on, I don't even know. So I'm going to just save you some struggles, and I'm going to tell you to get organized. Create binders and folders and highlighters and Sharpies and all the notes that you need to help you get organized. On my website, I created this toolkit, and the toolkit is kind of like it has 4 different sections. The first one is a junior and senior timeline to help keep you on track. Take this test during this month, file this application during this time. It kind of guides you along in that way. I also created a sample resume, which some schools will ask for. What else do they need? A terminology list. I made kind of like a little keyword terminology list kind of cheat sheet, because there's a lot of different vocabulary words that you're going to learn about dance as you shift into college years, right? So that some of these words that we've never heard of in our competitive dance years or our high school dance years, you're going to start to hear them as you go into college. And I wanted to make that list so that you kind of know what you're getting into. And then the last thing in the toolkit is a list of questions to ask on college visits. This is another thing that we're going to cover in this talk today, is what you need to be asking on college visits. So one of the main things that I like for students to get out of these talks is just to start making your list of questions, because that's going to help you understand what the college has to offer, and if it is in alignment with what you want to be doing with your life, because really that's how you're going to be the most happy in those 2 to 4 to 5 years that you're in college. Okay. Next, speaking of questions, let's just stay there. So I'm going to just list some questions that you might want to ask, right? So if you have notes, I'll try to talk a little slower. I know the coffee's just hitting me now. So first of all, just general things like your freshman year. Are freshmen allowed to have cars? You want to know about those types of things. These are things that we don't really think about, but definitely you want to be asking these. Let's see, how do freshmen get around campus? This also goes along with the car thing. Is there public transportation? Do you have shuttles? The main thing that is important with this is that if there's winter there, you know what I mean? Like, you want to know how you're getting around campus. So that's important. You want to know about public safety, especially if you have night classes. Definitely ask about what is happening at night there. Academic advisors, you want to know, do I get an academic advisor? Are they assigned? Do I get to pick one? That's definitely important. If diversity is important to you on a campus, you want to definitely have that question. And it's as easy as saying, how diverse is your campus, right? Sometimes they have that information published, and sometimes you just have to ask it. What opportunities are available for first-year students? In my opinion, freshman year is the year where you make up your mind, whether you love this place or whether you hate this place. Okay, so you want to make sure that you, number one, figure out what's important to you, but number two, ask if any of that is available. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to participate in the newspaper, if you want to be in theater shows, if you are a dancer who likes to perform, you definitely have to be asking, how many performances do I get to have in a year? That is a huge question that everyone needs to know. Next, another good question is about the faculty. How many faculty members are on the staff? So for me, this question is important because you want to know what type of variety you have. Is it just a modern based program? Is it just a jazz program? What is it? Asking about the faculty will help to get kind of a streamlined answer in that direction. Also, I think it's also important when you go on your college visits to sit and meet with the faculty if you can. Maybe just one faculty member or even a student. When you visit, you'll hopefully be able to take a class. The goal is to put yourself in the environment that a normal, college dance program student would feel. So to be in class with the other freshman, sophomore, whoever, is definitely recommended, because then you kind of get to feel how it feels, to be there for that. Next, this is a good one, guys. If I get overwhelmed, what kind of counseling services are there? You definitely will be making a transition from high school to college, and it's a huge transition on many levels. And so knowing that you can have someone to go talk to if you need to is definitely good for you. I would highly recommend that. It will definitely help to keep you kind of sane until the transition smooths out. So knowing about what counseling is there is definitely good to know. Also, are there any student employment opportunities? I had to work through college. Some of us need to work through college. So, of course, there's different things that you could do as far as like teaching at local dance studios if you can, but sometimes they'll have student employment opportunities. Definitely ask about those if that's something that you want and need throughout your college experience. And then just basic evaluation factors. Evaluation factors means just little points that kind of guide you to your decision. So one of those would be like the student body. How big is the student body? Like some colleges, like say The Ohio State University, is massive, but then you have other schools that are not so massive, right? So you want to decide what size campus you want to deal with first. Then you want to look at tuition and financial aid, which are major, and the whole financial aid process and scholarships and all that kind of stuff. I have in my college guide maybe 2 or 2.5 pages of scholarships listed that are just for dancers. In addition to that, of course, there's a million other that you'll probably qualify for because I know all of you are smart. But you also want to make sure that the scholarships that are specialization around what you're doing, you make sure you want to apply for all of those as well. Another evaluation factor, of course, is location. Do you want to be in the sunshine? Do you like winter? Start to get clear on those. Are sports important to you? You definitely want to ask yourself that, and so on. Let's segue into the sections in the guide. Okay, so each program at each school has a different way of doing everything. There's no one size fits all type of consistency within this process, right? So you could have a list of 8 to 9 schools that you apply for. Every single school is going to have a different application process, a different foundation in the way that they run their program, a different way that their classes are set up, a different way to transfer classes. So you want to, this is the part when organization comes into play. This is one of the things that you want to be most organized on so that you understand exactly how every single one functions, because you want to make sure that if you need to transfer or if you need to change something or if you want to take a class that's not in your major or something like that, you want to make sure that you're able to do whatever you need to do to keep yourself on track but also happy. Okay, so you'll see BFA and BA, which are just short names for the different types of dance degrees that you can get. BFA, of course, standing for Bachelor of Fine Arts, and then BA standing for Bachelor of Arts. Sometimes you'll see a BS, which means Bachelor of Science degree. But yeah, those are the main degrees offered if you decide to pursue a dance major. Some schools will offer a dance minor, but that's also your choice. When I was in school, I got a marketing Bachelor of Business Administration, but then I got a minor in dance. So depending on the school, you can kind of do it however you want, okay? So most BFA programs, which Bachelor of Fine Arts, most of those programs have a conservatory approach, okay? A conservatory approach means that they're just focusing on fully all aspects of dance, majority of dance. So if I would say maybe you have 80% dancing and then maybe 20% other subjects. So you're really focusing on like daily technical development, and we'll get into this in a second, but you have like different types of dance classes, but also classes around the body, teaches or classes on how you teach, things like that. We'll get into that in a second. But BFAs are mainly dance, okay? If you have a BA degree, which is a Bachelor of Arts, these programs have fewer studio credits or fewer dancing hours. So I would maybe say you're dancing 30 to 40% of the time, and you're doing like your other general credits a little bit more, right? So sometimes you can double major with a BA, which means if you want to do like dance and psychology, right? So that's an example there. But with the BA, you have a lot more of actual school than dancing, okay? Next, we shift into the differences between high school dance and college. This, for me, when I was researching all of this stuff, this was kind of the biggest whoa for me, if I will. I danced in college, but not at an advanced level because my school did not offer it, right? So that's another thing to kind of consider. Some schools don't offer the high level of dance that you might be looking for. I just want to be real with you. Like, all of you guys are like killing it. You're so good. But then you're going to go to college, and some of the classes, you might not be expecting it to go in that certain type of way. Meaning, college dance is a lot more focused on the full spectrum, all-inclusive, grand perspective look of dance. So it's not really focused on creating routines and working on technical skills in order to perform at a competition or whatever performance you might have. It's a lot more focused around, where did the plie come from? Where is your center? How do you activate your center as you execute certain moves? There's a few new words that you'll find that are also in my terminology kit. Somatics is one. It's the study of the body and movement, but then also pedagogy teaches you how to teach and works through choreography and steps and putting things together. Kinesiology is a little more on the anatomy side, right? Understanding what muscles align and connect when you're moving, those types of things. Music theory, understanding how movement connects to music and how music is, you get music classes because, they're connected, as we know. What else? Of course, technique and choreography are in there, but, I just like to prepare you so that you understand that when you go to the college side, you're making a true shift, as far as dance goes, as far as what you're learning goes, all of it. Okay. So I just like for people to go into college with that understanding so that you don't have any surprises, because I like surprises, but not bad surprises, right? Okay. What else do I want to say here? Okay. Yes, more questions along this subject. You want to ask what the dance program is heavy in. Are you heavy in modern? Are you heavy in ballet? Those are the two most common. A lot of programs now are working on modernizing themselves, which is amazing. So you have more jazz, you have more contemporary, but understand the type of contemporary that you're used to is on a different level than the contemporary that is danced and learned in college. So it is a really cool opportunity because you'll get to understand and learn both sides, both ways, but again, it's different. Let's see. Moving on, another good question for you to ask on a college visit, or even if you're just emailing back and forth an advisor or something, I always suggest to ask what the alumni are up to. Like, what are your college dance program graduates up to? Are they professionally working? Are they teaching? Are they not? I think knowing what graduates of a program are doing will give you a nice open eye and an open view to what's possible for you as well. I think it also will let you know if the program is there to help guide you into a career, or if they're just there, right? So you want to have your questions ready. I want to get to my favorite part of this college guide, you guys. So the cool thing about knowing so many people in the dance industry and having so many friends is that, well, that sounded kind of mean, girls, but whatever. It is cool to have so many friends and acquaintances across the country that are in dance in different ways. So I reached out to about 12 to 15, and everybody kind of ranges from California, Utah, Ohio, Texas, Oklahoma, New York. Everybody's kind of all over the place. But we interviewed professional dancers and choreographers who also graduated from college dance programs. Okay, so this is the best part for me. I'll kind of just show you in the book. But the first one that I want to talk about, his name is Giovanni. Oh, hey, Giovanni Soto. He tells his story about his application process, okay, the ups and downs of the application process. And then I don't want to give the whole story away, but he goes through how he ended up getting accepted to Juilliard on a full scholarship. What? So definitely get into that story, because that's my favorite one. And his career is 100% blowing up right now. He went on tour with Demi Lovato, and he's in a new movie coming up that I can't say, but like, boom, killing the game, okay? And he ended up at Juilliard and graduated, and yes, so good. This is Matt Pardo. Hello, Matt. Hi. He is a professor. He actually has taught at a lot of schools. Elon University, which is one of our sponsors for the guide, he taught there. I think he's not Shenandoah University, but he went to the University at Buffalo. His career is so cool because he's on the college side. So like, he teaches at colleges, and he creates works, and he choreographs on beautiful companies, and he has a beautiful freelance career that is very wide spectrum. Let's see. Okay, Cleo went to Pace. Hi, Cleo. She was one of the first graduates of the Pace commercial dance program. So they are kind of very original in the way that they have created their commercial dance program. Rhonda Miller is the queen over there, and it's so good. But Cleo was in one of the first graduating classes, so she kind of gives you her experience with that. And then you guys might know this one. Oh, hey, Robbie. Robbie's here. He is a graduate of University of North Carolina School of the Arts, right? So he kind of gives his input on also how to decide where to go, questions to ask yourself, different guidelines and ways to, hey, Christy, guide yourself through it all. Some of you might also know these two. This is Kevin and Marcel Wilson. Hey, oh, hey. These two graduated from Oklahoma City University, which is also a sponsor of the guide, which is amazing. But I'm sure if you know colleges, you know Oklahoma City. It's got one of the best programs in the country, hands down. There's no questioning that. I mean, when it comes to ballet, tap, and jazz, there's like 5 to 7, maybe 7 different levels, okay, which is very, very rare for college programs to have that many levels. So if you want to be challenged, that's the place to go. Anyway, both of these guys, their careers are unbelievable. They both, I mean, Janet Jackson, I don't know if you guys love her as much as I do, but Janet Jackson, Christina Aguilera, they're choreographing for cruise ships. I mean, I think Kevin is choreographing for The Masked Singer right now. Like, they're great. Okay, then we have Bree Hayfin. Hey, Bree. Bree is a contemporary dancer and teacher. She was on So You Think You Can Dance. She graduated from Brigham Young University in Utah, and her whole story is really cool because she went there for kind of like a dance team experience. But she also shares kind of like what she got out of it, which is it's really awesome to kind of read through everyone's individual experience, but also kind of their advice and their lessons and stuff like that. So she's cool. Okay, Jeremy. This is Jeremy Duvall. Hi, Jer. He also went to Oklahoma City University, and his thing now is he created a in-studio dance intensive called Industry Experience, also another sponsor of the book. So I tell you all of this because I like for you to understand that any path you go can lead you to a really cool career in no matter how you decide to do it. It's just going to be dependent upon kind of your choices, you know, so whatever, you got it. Let's see, who else do we got here? James Washington. Hi, James. James is Point Park in Pittsburgh. Point Park is another one of the most prestigious universities in the country, and you definitely should know about that one. James's career is a lot more musical theater performance, and he also encourages everyone to get vocal lessons and know how to sing, because that can help you if you decide to go in that area, in that direction. So definitely check up on his, because he's got some really cool credits in here as well. So yeah, that's it for the Q&A section with our faculty, I guess, contributors or whatever. The next section of the guide goes through as many dance programs as we could find. And it just lists them out individually by kind of the schools that offer majors first. And I did kind of like a paragraph of information, kind of giving you a little introduction to each school, also letting you know what degrees they offer. So that's a big chunk of the book. And then right after it are also smaller schools that might offer just a certificate or an associate's or a 2-year or something like that. I do want to talk about a section where I talk to college faculty, which is another really nice section of this guide. I have a few friends that are actual college faculty. One, his name is Greg Daniels. He is the, what's his exact title? He's the dance program coordinator at Baldwin Wallace in Ohio. I believe it's close to Cleveland, Ohio. And their program is really cool because it's kind of like a world-renowned musical theater situation there. And they take the students to New York. They let them, they get to dance in front of casting agents on a regular basis. They get to feel how it feels to perform on a New York stage, which is awesome. Like, the program at Baldwin Wallace is really cool. Also something that I didn't know until I started doing all of this research, so it's really great. Another faculty member we have, her name is Christine Stridsberg. She actually teaches at 3 different schools. She's a graduate from NYU, Tisch School of the Arts. And I believe her schools that she teaches at are Ohio State, Wittenberg, and Otterbein College. But her professional viewpoint comes from just talking about things that you can expect in making the transition from high school to college. So hers is fun to read. And then last but not least, my good friend Jaron Reese, who is on faculty at AMDA. AMDA is the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. There's one in LA and there's one in New York. Both programs are different. So if you're looking at AMDA, make sure that you get to know the details about the program in LA and the details about the program in New York, because they're different on all levels. And I'll just let you look into that. One's a 4-year, one's a 2-year, one's a certificate, one's not. So again, when I say every single school is so different, every single school is so different. All right, I'm going to wrap it up and then we'll do questions. Let's see. We talked about performances. Okay, another good thing to ask is about guest artists. Right now, the guest artists that you experience are, I guess you guys will probably call them master teachers. But when you go to a college program, they're called guest artists. And this is really cool because they come and they spend some time with you, right? So they work on different choreographical works and things like that. So it's not kind of like it is now where like I might fly into a studio for 2 days and then pop out. Guest artists generally stay a little bit longer to really work through things. So definitely ask if your school brings in guest artists, because as a student, it's very refreshing, as you know, for someone new to come in and bring a new style and introduce whatever they want to introduce. Let's see. Another question to ask when you're in your daily life as a college student, you want to know, like, how's the schedule? Is it super heavy? Is it light? Is it moderate? Also, asking about the balance between academics and dance. You want to be clear on understanding the different way things are set up, right? Another section, the two sections that I want to talk about. First of all, tap is one area of college dance that is not so available all the time, right? Every now and then you'll pop up on a school and you'll say, wow, you have a tap program, that's amazing. It's certainly not the norm everywhere. So I listed quite a few schools, all the schools I could find with tap programs. And again, understand that they range from level 1 to level 2, sometimes level 7, but most schools are going to be at a level 1 and a 2 and a 3, right? So if you are someone who loves a subject like tap or hip hop or jazz, funk, or whatever, you might want to seek out maybe a local studio in the area and do some additional training if your schedule permits, because you can't always rely on colleges to offer high level training in those areas. Okay. Next, I list career paths in different ways. So you heard when I was talking about the faculty here, you heard a lot of different performance and business owning and stuff like that. So I list also other things like choreography, business manager, agents. A lot of dancers turn out to be agents, physical therapist, chiropractor, a dance teacher, a studio owner, convention manager. I worked in a convention and competition scene for about 12 years. It's a good job. It just travels, it's fun. So there's lots of different career paths you could have as a result of being in the dance world. And also either having a dance degree or not. That's the other thing. It's like, I feel like people should know you're going to be great at no matter what you decide. Whether you decide to get a dance degree or whether you decide to get a dance major or whether you decide to just dance on the side, you're still going to have a great career and a great life. So don't worry about that. Let's see. And last but not least, auditions. Again, in the same way that every college program is different, all of the audition criteria is different as well. So you want to make sure that you're reading through, what requirements each school has. Sometimes they want you to have an a cappella audition. Sometimes they want you to have a ballet audition. Sometimes it's supposed to be a minute. Sometimes it's 2 minutes. So you just kind of want to go through and make sure that you're prepared properly and very clear on the instructions, because I've seen situations where the student will go in and they won't have it right, and that's it. That's enough for them not to get it. So you want to make sure that you're clear on all of the audition criteria. I believe I also have a blog entry article on my website about auditions if you want to check that out. So the website for the book is www.geniuscollegeguide.com. Geniuscollegeguide.com. There you can either buy an ebook. The ebook is cheaper, or if you want to go to Amazon, it's on sale on Amazon, and that's the physical copy if you want this. So there's that. And So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I can answer them for you. Also, my email, if you ever have questions about any of this stuff, or if I didn't cover something that you have a question about or you want to know more about, the email is geniuscollegeguide@gmail.com. So the website, www.geniuscollegeguide.com, and the email is geniuscollegeguide@gmail.com. I'm thinking for the next release, I think I'm going to do a special on, or a focus on dance teams. So I'm kind of gathering information and interviewing friends and people and students about the whole dance team experience. So if that's something that you want to know about, definitely drop us a line on that too. But yeah, that's pretty much what we want to talk about as far as all this college stuff goes. Okay, we have a question. How would you talk to your parents who insist you go to college but you don't really think it's the best path for you? Oh, this is a really good question. Okay, so as you're getting older, you guys, we have to start working on our communication skills, okay? So communicating, especially with parents, can be a little bit tricky because, sometimes they can pull the card that says, well, I'm paying, so you have to do it, I tell you. And so you have to just have kind of a level-headed, calm conversation to both where you guys find some common ground, right? So I would suggest making a list. Make a list of all of the reasons why you feel, what you want to do is the right way for you, right? So if it were me, I would say, I would like to just go jump out into performing. I already have connections that are, networks that are, offering me jobs. And then maybe also have some data if you can. Have like some backup information to kind of prove if you can, you know what I mean? Like you could use another professional dancer, for example, or another person, even if it's not in the dance field. You could use someone else's career as an example to say, hey, this is the path that so-and-so took. I also want to try to take that route. So yeah, I would maybe just take it from a logical, organized standpoint, and make a list. Have your parents make a list of why they want you to do it. And you guys just come to, just talk to find some type of common ground. But it definitely is a challenge, especially if you're very serious about either going or not going, So for me, it's just about communication. The more you talk about it, in a calm state, the more education you have and the more you can back up your decision, the better off I think that decision and conversation is going to go. Good question. Anyone else? Okay. There. Just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Oh, this scholarship page is longer than I thought. But yes, that's good. What else? Cheyenne, Aubrey. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. There's a section in here also where I do a Q&A with parents. And so parents that are also friends of mine that have attended events that I've had, they kind of weigh in on their experience from a parental standpoint. So they kind of give their experience with auditioning, application, college visits, just different various subjects, but from a parental standpoint, which I think is cool. I forgot to mention that. But I think that's it. So again, if you have any questions, the email that you can email them to, geniuscollegeguide.com. I'm sorry, geniuscollegeguide@gmail.com. We update the guide once every 2 years, so the next edition is going to come out next year in 2021. And then if you want to check out the website, it's www.geniuscollegeguide.com. You could buy it there as an ebook, or you could go to Amazon for the physical copy. And if no one has any other questions, thank you so much for attending our class today. So good to see all of you. I hope that we're all getting through this with a smile on our face. And I hope you're taking some awesome live dance classes. And definitely shout out and thank you to CDI. You guys are my favorite, and I love you, and you know that. So definitely have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.